Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. My name is Brother Omar El Rashid, and I am author, poet, and Peaceful Hearts Guide. If, in case you don't know a little bit about my story, I, alhamdulillah, was pushed to the brink and I survived several suicide attempts. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, Allah brought me back and sent me to help other people to not only survive, but to thrive in life. And now I'm passing on that message for those who are seeking solutions for depression, anxiety, and bipolar. So I wanted to share something today about the seasons. And obviously we're now entering into the springtime, and spring is one of the wonderful seasons of nature, right? The seasons are constantly changing, and each one of the four seasons brings with it a certain kind of a temperance, a certain kind of an environment, a certain kind of weather, and a certain kind of mood. And the truth is, our lives are much the same way. So if you imagine that many of us are starting off in winter time, right? Winter time in our life, the season of our life, might be like depression, sadness, despair. You know, when it's winter time, you don't really want to go out and do anything in the world. Like, even we know that the bears go hibernating for the entire winter. Like, they aren't very active. They're sort of recluse and they're staying to themselves. But at the same time, in our lives, when we're in a stage of winter or the season of winter, this might be a good time for us to reach out to Allah and to connect with Allah, because in that silence, in that quiet, in that despair, it's an opportunity to connect with Allah. And in nature, even if you don't like the snow, if you don't like the cold, if you don't like the wet and the rain, you can always wait for winter to change into spring. In the life of in our lives, when it comes to the seasons of life, we can actually take active steps in order to change the seasons of our life. We're not dependent and we're not powerless over the seasons of our life the way that we are in terms of the seasons of the weather, right? We can't change it magically from winter into summer, for example. But in our lives, we can help take action to shift a winter season into a spring. And so what does the spring season of life look like? The spring season of life is like the hope. You know, it's the time where the cold weather is finally drying up. It's getting a little bit warmer. You know, maybe there's been some problems, but things are getting a little bit better, and we're able to, crawl out of the cave and crawl out of the darkness and find a little bit of light and hold on to it and hope for more and hope for better and hope for continuing growth. Spring is a time for growth, and spring is a time for hope. And then, of course, things are really good in our lives, right? And that's when we're in the summertime of our lives. And in the summertime of life, we are, active, we're busy, we're having fun, we're enjoying life, and we're stable, but also we're preoccupied, right? Our schedules might be very busy. We might have not too much free time to do anything else, but at the same time, we're feeling good and things are going well. And that's a beautiful time in the summer. And then sometimes the fall time comes in our lives. And in nature, fall time is when things start to get a little cool. The sun isn't quite so bright anymore. It's not quite so fun, right? And in the fall time or autumn of our lives, maybe that's when problems start to creep in. Maybe we can see the signs, right? So maybe we can see the signs that a cold spell is coming. And in that time, it's definitely recommended in the hadith literature that as the summer turns to fall, make sure that you dress warmly and take preventative measures, because the cold weather is coming, so protect yourself from the cold so you don't get sick, right? So even in the fall time of our lives, oftentimes there are signs that things are getting worse, and we can take action then to protect ourselves and to give us the strength to get through. So I wanted to talk a little bit about each of these things and how it is that we can get through. And one of the things, whether you're in a winter or whether you're in a fall or whether you're in a spring or whether you're in a summertime of your life, there are definitely actions that we can do to help get us towards a happier state in life. And one of the things that you can do when you're in a fall is when you're starting to feel a depression coming on, you're starting to feel sadness, and despair coming, one of the things that we can do is practice gratitude. Looking for things to be grateful for can help us to lessen the severity of the winter of despair and sadness that's to come. And if you're stuck in the middle of a winter right now, one of the things that you can do is to talk about and express what's going on in your life. That's a way that we can shift ourselves from the cold winter to the hopeful spring and the spring of growth. And so one of the ways that we have to share this, in case you don't have necessarily a counselor or a therapist or family friends that you can reach out to, I've actually developed a survey that helps people to express what they're going through now, to change the cold of winter into the spring of hope. And so that link is in this video and below this video. So if you want to take a time to take action to shift out of the winter of despair and into, hopefully, God willing, inshallah, the springtime of hope and growth, then feel free to take that survey. And if there's someone else that you feel might be going through a dark place in their life, please share this video with them and encourage them to take action to get themselves out of the winter of life. Because, you know, when it comes to nature and when it comes to the weather, we don't have any power over what season we're in. That's just dependent on the time of year. But in terms of our lives, every day is a new opportunity to change the season of our lives when we take action. So, with that, I will bid you salam, wa alaikum assalam, peace be upon you, and I hope to hear from you soon. Salam.